But if you like bring home a fresh pack of German pills and some Simply lemonade, and you just mix yourself.
Your Moped Beer's homemade radler.
Homemade.
Shanties, yeah, shanties.
Too good. That's funny. That's that's one of our better responses.
Gives me shit for that. Everyone gives me shit.
One of our better responses for sure.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Hoppy Craftsmen. I am Chris. With me today is Nate.
Hello.
Mr.
Ed.
Mr. on probation because he's been drinking a lot of Guinness in Europe when he was over there.
I did. I have to correct you, though, that...
That's probably fresh.
I think it was.
The plural of Guinness is Guinness, not Guinnesses, like you said.
No, it's Guinness. I don't care.
It's like Jedi, sorry. It's like one Jedi, two Jedi, three Jedi, many Jedi.
Potatoes, avocados, whatever.
Yes.
Much more important things.
We are actually here at Wren House Brewing again. With us today is Drew Poole.
Hi.
And Luke Cool Hand Dub himself.
Luke. Yep. Hello.
Just Luke.
No, it's Cool Hand Dub.
I do want to say Drew and I both love Guinness. So,
take it easy, Chris.
like we're big fans.
I'm going to leave. All right, thanks, guys.
I think when I was in Dublin a few weeks ago, I think I had like 13 in a row.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And I was sending a picture of every single one to my sister-in-law. She was getting pissed off that I was traveling. And I was just like, they were just getting worse and worse and worse. Like the comments that I was sending, I'm like, this is not good.
So are you
But it was
ever,
delicious.
If you're in Ireland, you go 10 plus in a session, no problem. 10 Guinness.
yeah,
It just
I know
works.
from Ed's photos. I understand this now.
Yeah. Although you can find the locals, because locals have a tendency to drink Heineken more than Guinness. Sometimes.
Yeah, or Coors
Yeah.
Light. The
Coors Light.
That's what you're saying.
Coors
That's
Light
so
with a
crazy.
glass of ice.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
did you find one of those, what do they call it, a day bar or the all day bars? There's like a handful in the city that they have an old liquor license from like way back in the day where they can actually open at like 8 a.m. in the morning. And there's like a handful of them.
Not on this trip. I've seen
I've
them on
never been to
previous
one of
trips.
those.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
That's awesome.
What?
it's fun.
So say, Drew, are you ever, besides right now in the United States? Because
Yes,
usually once a year.
I'm on sabbatical right now,
Is
so
that what it is?
I have nothing to do.
So I guess we should probably get into maybe a quick recap. People haven't actually heard our previous episode, kind of like who you are, what you do, and then kind of what Wren House is all about. If you want to do that real quick.
You guys probably do more or different things than you did last time. We talked 2 years ago.
That's right.
So
yeah,
lots
it's been
changed.
a while. So I'm Drew Poole. So one of the co-founders of Wren House. What do we do? we do a wide range of things. We've actually, probably since we last talked, we do less of certain things. Like we don't do as much like wild or mixed fermentation. I know we were experimenting with it last time. So we don't do that anymore, but we're more kind of we're going double down on lagers, barrel-aged beers. But we're also, doing a lot of experimentation. So I think if anything in the last couple of years since we talked, we're doing a lot more collabs with various folks, whether they're from the food world, locally, or various breweries around the country. Of course, doing hazy IPAs and that sort of thing, but also doing some fun things outside the box. Like we're drinking a mead barrel aged pilsner right now that we've been lagering in our cold storage for like 4 months. So we like to keep it fresh, keep trying different things.
Yeah, experimenting in ways that are comfortable with us. I mean, for the past few years, we've kind of watched the market and kind of evolved as it did. And now we're brewing beers that we think are super fun, but also are a sure sell to our customers. So we are able to experiment like in that range of things, but still keeping it to stuff we know and stuff we know we can do well.
For sure. Who are you, Luke? Who are you?
Oh yeah. What do you do?
My name is Luke.
What do you do here?
I'm a brewer. I'm just kind of helping out back there, kind of making sure everything stays on schedule. Tasting the beers throughout, making sure that quality is up to snuff. Stuff like that.
So listening to the past episode, Luke, you actually said that you were super proud of the 10 when it came out. It was one of the most complex beers you made. And that was actually, at this point, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was our first canned beer.
It was first canned, right? Yeah. First 16-ounce can?
Yeah.
What is it now? Like, what are you... I mean, at that point, I'm
sure there's
imagine
a few
you've
as
grown,
well.
right? Is it-
Yeah, that was
hard to
such
pick a
like
kid.
that was such like an infant stage of our kind of, I guess if we want to narrow it down to our IPA category.
Right.
That was such an infant stage for us, but for me, it was exciting to brew a beer like that. And now all of our hazies, I mean, it came to this point where we would just narrow in on them further and further until we're just making smaller and smaller tweaks.
Okay.
But then still getting excited when like a new craft maltster comes into the game and allows us to play around with those type of flavors. And
Yeah, so I think it's like narrowing in even more, like going microscopic into hop varietals and how to get the best like flavor character out of hops or malt. Or like, we pulled a sample of suntan off the tank. That's like a 3.7. So it's trying to go after the most like quote unquote pedestrian styles that people kind of write off and trying to make those really great.
yeah.
So trying to make an awesome session, trying to make a killer Pilsner. I think that's what's exciting to me.
Yeah. To be able to grow as, a company and as a brewer myself to dial in on some beers that maybe aren't super exciting in terms of like what ingredients are in them and stuff, but to make them super clean and enjoyable, and so that the majority of the population can come in and just really enjoy clean tasting, well-made beer. I think that's kind of the direction we want to go with.
And I think too, it's like, from my perspective, it's more like, I get super proud of when we can dial in some of those kind of underappreciated styles like session IPAs and lagers and those sorts of things. So I see it as my job to, make people care about it and be like, yeah, it's not a double IPA, it's not a triple IPA like a Good Boy Wally, but there's definitely some worth to it, and you guys should be appreciating this beer. It's great for what it is, and I think that's the struggle we've had for lagers forever is, don't judge a lager against a triple hazy IPA that's going to drink like orange juice and get you wasted after one can. Like, appreciate it for its cleanliness and its like clarity and its, characters unto itself, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, obviously we're on a big kick to kind of bring back those styles of beer and bring back that style of brewing a little bit.
That's awesome.
Kind of focus on that. Seems more sustainable to us in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're excited about that kind of beer, which is why we keep talking about it. We love lagers.
Keep making them.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to pull up the list, unfortunately. But
I think
I'm sorry.
a lot of people don't realize it. Like when you see a lager on the board, how convenient and nice it is. Because you go in some places, and it's nothing but, like you said, triple hazies, and you're like, I don't really want a 10, 12% right away.
Mm-hmm.
Like let me start with something more basic and basically get your feet wet.
And Luke and I were just in New York last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think New York's a lot of things, right? It's kind of the epicenter for trends and those sorts of things, right? So, I mean, you go there, you see Other Half, and they've got 15 double, triple IPAs on the board.
This is crazy.
And maybe like one non-triple or double hazy IPA, but and they have a line at the door, right? That's definitely the hot thing right now. But then you have some great smaller producers like Folksbier and Threes, and these guys that don't have as much hype right now, but they're knocking out incredibly complex, kind of simpler styles like lagers, pilsners, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I think they're starting to pick up a lot in popularity, just because I think it kind of tests how good you can make beer when you can dial in those really.
Yeah, it's a very organic growth. Yeah. Very safe and organic. Yeah, I really enjoy this.
Going big out of the door and hoping you sell, all of your big beer. Right?
Yeah.
No,
Dropped out.
that is super interesting, and it is awesome to see you guys wanting to make styles like that, because like the Big Spill Pills, I mean they're great beers, and it's nice to have 3 or 4 beers like you said, instead of just coming in and getting 2 Burrow Buddies, which is super duper good. Don't get me wrong, it's really good, but it's nice to see you guys making styles like that and doing it really well.
Yeah, we definitely put our own kind of thumbprint on the hazy doubles and stuff like that as well. We're
Yeah.
starting to move towards using a lot more Sonagua malt, Arizona malt. We're buying by the pallet grain R&D, like malted wheat, that he's been working on for a while now, kind of dialing in. So we're kind of putting our own kind of Arizona spin on these beers, which makes them a little more fun to make.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
less kind of drony when you have like these cool variables that not everyone else in the country gets to play with. So yeah, we're having fun with those too. I mean, they're just as challenging to make, and it's fun to see people enjoy them.
I was going to say, I mean, from your guys' point of view, it's like, you're talking to different breweries all the time. I mean, to me, it doesn't seem like people, when I say people, like industry folks, necessarily care that much right now about, really going in and building out like lager programs, right? I mean, we joke about it all the time about certain places that are, building lager facilities and stuff, right? And we kind of brush it off. But, you guys are going out and talking to everybody in the Valley. Is it kind of a consensus that everybody's just sort of doubling down on the current trend of hazy IPAs and everybody's just trying to make the next best hazy and be known for that?
I wouldn't say as much. I'd say, I mean, it feels more like people want to, it seems more like breweries want to make one or two like that, but they want to be able to make more, like they want to be able to make more lagers. They want to be able to do more than that. It already seems to where they're already over it for the most part. I mean, just sitting there and churning out IPA after IPA after IPA. No one seems to be really in the mood to do that. I
So
mean, don't get me wrong.
we have a new segment. We actually after we reviewed you guys, we did a segment called Rapid Round, and one of the questions in it was, what's the next trend in craft beer that you guys think? And that definitely a lot of people brought up lagers as being one
sure.
of the what they see happening. So
Yeah.
it's definitely been on a lot of different breweries' minds that that's what they want to do too. So, but there's just a lot of things that come with lagers and pilsners because of the how hot it is here and be able to do them year round is gonna be a lot harder than it is in other places. So that was a kind of concern for them.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, we, on any given day, we sell 10 times as much Spellbinder as we do Big
Right.
Spill pills, right? And
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
But I think the trend is now going towards people want like the spectrum. Like they want a stout, they want
Sure.
a lager, they want a couple hazies, maybe a West Coast. I think people are starting to revert back to the West Coast, maybe putting more flavor into them, like what you're saying, experimenting with that classic style and adding, like trying to get more fruit flavors out of them or more body into them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just seems, especially in Arizona, people want the options of going from a super light pills to a super heavy stout.
yeah, it's more like variety.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could come in and sit down and kill like 3 Spellbinders on tap, 4 of them on easily, because that's a really good beer.
Yeah.
You know, just like Dark Sky kills Mountains Mosaic when it's on tap. It just outsells every other beer they make. It's a killer flagship for them. I feel like Spellbinder's like right there with that. It's just a really good beer. So I can kind of see why that one does as well as it does when it's on.
Sure.
So we talked about that. We talked to you guys 2 years ago. We're now at 4 years. You guys just celebrated your anniversary, 3 weeks ago at this point?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
So how did we get there? Like, what kind of growth have you guys seen in the last 2 years? What do you guys, you said you've been doing a lot more collabs. What have you guys done besides? I mean, I saw some fermenters in the back there during the party. What?
I mean, we're,
Any big additions?
I'll let Luke comment, but we're always super concerned or super paranoid or just top of mind that we don't want to grow too fast, right? Yeah. So we're very methodical in everything we do. So those fermenters for us, buying those new fermenters and getting some custom 30s in there was a huge step for us. And it was not only like what we talked about of placing our bets on the core styles that we do and like making those really great and not maybe doing a ton of experimentation from like the wild side and making 30 barrel fermenters that you got to fill with beer that's going to sell, right? So you got to move through it. So we did that, and we're planning on opening up our lager facility here in the next couple months using those old fermenters that we had. But yeah, I mean we're just very intentional in everything we do. So it's, every decision that we make, we probably dwell on it too much from, at certain points, and we want to be more quick and see the market changing and act on it.
Okay.
But at the same time, it helps us not make big mistakes or oversteps, right? It's not like we went and opened up a $1 million production facility and now we've got all this extra capacity and we're making 5 core styles nonstop, right?
Right. Well, I mean, and we've talked about this before. Like, there's a lot of cases of that happening. People just kind of growing real fast and expanding real fast, and then it just kind of bites them in the ass. So, the fact that you guys are being a little bit more methodical about it makes a lot more sense, at least to us too. And we've talked about this in depth with people before. So,
well, from a production standpoint, we went from like 1,200 barrels to I think 1,600, and this year we're going to try to do 2,000.
Yeah, it's very, very slow growth compared to what you see, that like tenfold increase that some folks do.
Right.
It's just kind of terrifying, I think, to everybody here. I think
we want to manage accounts, right?
Yeah.
We want to make sure that the accounts that we do have are, getting attention and the care that they need. So if we went huge and did 10,000 barrels next year, and 10x our distribution, one, it's gonna, we're not gonna have a close relationship with all those new accounts, and then two, it's gonna hurt our current accounts.
Yeah.
And I think quality always slips when you're going big. I know when we got our 30s, we had to dial in a lot of stuff. We were training a new brewer. We had bigger systems. So like the ports were different and how we sampled our yeast was different and all these different things. So we had a lot of variables that we had to dial in. And I think now we're over that hump now where we've got it all dialed in.
Yeah, we have it very streamlined back there. It's been nice. It's definitely just been in the last couple months. The growth we've seen with buying those new tanks has now allowed us to, buy some nice equipment that allows us to keep production rolling, keep quality up as high as possible, and just overall make more beer, which I think we've been.
Yeah, we just did our first 24-hour shift, right?
Yeah. We had the
couple days
brew house
ago.
running from, 6 a.m. till 6 a.m. the next day.
That's awesome.
So we're making,
cool.
we're definitely squeezing all the juice out of that
Yes.
orange in the back.
Yeah.
So we've got a 10-barrel system, right? And we've got our cellar's like 120 plus barrels right now. And then we're going to add another 100 barrels of capacity at the lager facility, but it's all going to come out of that 10-barrel system. So we're going to be running it 24 hours probably pretty soon here.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's gonna be busy.
I just think it's cool because you guys are doing Spellbinder now kind of all the time, right? That's kind of your kind of go-to.
Yeah.
You come in here, always get a 6-pack or a 4-pack of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, which is nice at the size we're at. I did want to say we the way we're growing, we're still able to kind of curate the accounts that we sell to,
Right.
and kind of have a very personal touch on all of those, so that we know like where each beer is and maybe even how it's tasting, because we all like to go to a lot of these restaurants and stuff, and we definitely want to keep it small enough that we can still kind of have that little piece of kind of being really safe with where a beer's at, especially Spellbinder. It's such kind of a delicate hoppy beer. It's good to not just load a ton of pallets out and just blindly send it out somewhere and kind of forgetting about it.
Keep
We're
an eye
still
on
at
it,
the point where we know what's going on with our beer, which is crucial.
Yeah, I hope we always know what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's a great feeling when your accounts care as much as you do about your beer, and they get a couple of cases of Spellbinder in, and they're like super excited about it, right? And they're super proud that they have it. They're super proud to be selling it, and they'll take care. So it's again going back to taking care of our accounts and making sure that they're happy.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say I was really happy when I went to Gadzooks and I saw it was on tap.
Yeah.
I was just like, what? This is amazing. So that was really cool.
Yeah, we had actually made a house Hefeweizen for them because my little brother at Gadzooks gets some ideas from time to time, and he thinks Hefeweizens are the perfect pairing for enchiladas, which may be true. I mean, it is good, and I can see they can be citrusy at some point, but they switched over to Spellbinder now, and it's a pretty cool experience to go in there and get some festival tacos and a Spellbinder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing Spellbinder on tap is exciting.
Yeah.
Right.
Still.
Well, seeing it in the case is exciting.
Outside of here,
Same for
outside of
us.
walked in here, but
Yeah, you walk in and that label the label calls out to you wherever you're at, and
It's
but
at-
seeing that, but I think that speaks to your growth too, because I've seen like comments and people who drink it, they're saying like this is the best Spellbinders tasted, that in their opinion, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, if you can grow and still make it
For sure,
consistent,
yeah,
right?
and that's
Yeah.
one of the things that we've been talking about is in reinvesting all of our money back into equipment. So for a long time, we were. I was just talking to somebody about this other day that's starting up a brewery. That we, from the outset, we started with as little low overhead as we could, and we got the cheapest equipment we can afford, just so we could have enough money between us to open. And it wasn't just because we wanted to sacrifice quality or anything like that. It was more just like, okay, at going to a 10 barrel system, what can we actually afford? So since then, we've been, basically, it's like buying a car and then just adding all these modifications to it. And then you have like this rice rocket kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so we've put a lot of bells and whistles on our system in the back, like, all new solenoids,
I like that.
all new electronics, right? We've done all kinds of things, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're buying new equipment to help us package beer better, maintain shelf life.
Right.
We always have a big wish list that we're trying to check off as much as possible, just to try and make the most stable, consistent, tasty beer in Phoenix.
Right. A new RO system. I mean, we have a big weekend or like,
Yep.
anniversary week. The first thing we buy is like a nice piece of equipment,
Yeah.
right? We're like, okay, let's go buy that $20,000 DO meter or whatever it
Yeah.
is, right? So yeah, we're like super passionate about quality. So everything we do, we reinvest.
So did the E112, did that actually help with the pallet stacker at all when you guys brewed that beer to make it work again?
The pallet stacker is working at like 99%.
So it did, is what you're saying. Then.
It's nice.
We did a big overhaul on that. So I mean, it's the same.
It's the shell of the same.
It's the shell, yeah. It's got a new engine, and a new soul to it.
I was hoping it would be like a tradition of like sacrificing,
Yeah.
beer to the.
Yeah, and we got
Yeah,
we
we're
got rid of
slowly-
Robot Grasshopper,
Yeah.
which our old shitty mill.
We're
and we
running
got a
out
new
of
one.
equipment to
Named beers after.
put out a commission.
Yeah, I
What
think-
was the other one? The Omnis Octopus? Is that what it was?
Ominous Octopus,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
our
good too.
shitty keg cleaner filler,
Man, we just have some
janky.
janky stuff.
It was kind of sad though, seeing the robot grasshopper through the fence,
Collecting
Yeah, it
dust.
just kind of
out
sits there,
like,
and
with its
it's
sad
rusting
face.
away,
It's a little museum back there.
It's a robot graveyard.
Yeah.
I like it.
basically.
I'll say this. I think Nate actually really liked your koozie. Your growler.
I did.
Sure.
I like the growler koozie, and I have both of them now. But yeah, that
Cool.
was.
I'm really sad, Nate. I'm sorry. I just wrote it down because I was thinking about it and I was like,
I was like, where are you gonna koozie
It's
for a growler?
crucial if you go to like maybe a pool party or something and you don't want
Outside
to carry
anytime.
a bunch of cans. You just have a couple 32s and koozies.
You're done. It's true because I had a handle on it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, we're relaunching Senior Gaio and 32
Oh.
ounce koozie
Yes,
and
we are.
32 ounce growlers.
Yeah. We got
Sweet.
special Senior Gaio labels coming in.
And it's gonna have a
Are we-
Michelada
yeah,
recipe
are we
on the
running
side
with
of
that?
it.
Yeah, we put a Michelada how-to recipe on the side.
That's sweet.
It's just kind of our fun, weird American Mexican hybrid Vienna lager kind of thing.
Wild rice.
Very
with
cool.
rice. With rice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
we went through. Fun beer.
We went through. I guess it was probably this spring or maybe a little bit before that. We started rebrewing all of our OG recipes and trying to like improve them a little bit.
Yeah.
And
So this one we haven't brewed in maybe 2.5 years.
yeah,
2 years.
Senior Gaio.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of them still don't work, like the ginger, Preston's ginger beer, Jolene.
Yeah, we
Jolene.
have beers from back then's beer scene that don't really work anymore.
I
People
remember
keep,
that.
People
I
keep
remember
asking
that
for Chai
can.
Jolly, but I don't think it'll.
Yeah, chai
Fly
jolly
as
too,
much
yeah.
now
That's,
as it-
that's old school.
Yeah.
like
That's
2 years
funny.
ago, it's old
Yeah.
school.
That's funny. You're like,
I
we
mean-
can't make that one again. It's
Yeah.
not gonna work.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Very funny.
Maybe 2 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you at the point where you're like, oh, I forgot about that one? Like, do you have old recipes?
Yeah,
flying around
For
that
sure, yeah.
And I think we romanticize it, and we're like, "Oh man, High Jolly was so good." But I think if we remade it, we'd probably be like, "Yeah, no, I don't." There's a reason we didn't brew this.
It's that one pint, and you're like, like, yeah, that's awesome. Then you don't go back to it.
Right. Yeah. I think so.
Do you guys have any more pale ales on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of started this new line of kind of did two purposes for us. We have a small 10-barrel tank back there that we still have had from the beginning, and it kind of tucks away in a corner. And we kind of use it to prop up new yeast pitches. And the best way to do that is a low gravity, pretty clean beer. So the way we're doing that is brewing these small IPAs.
Nice.
We're calling them small IPAs because we don't really have, an exact ABV range we're looking for.
Right.
Some are kind of like a pale ale, some are kind of sessiony, but they're all, slightly hazy, very soft, very low bitterness, very medium hop aroma, nothing crazy, but still using the most high quality ingredients we can.
Mm-hmm.
So our latest one was Gravel Ghost, and that was 100% Nelson hops. And for I think most of them now, we've used entirely Arizona grain using Sinagua malt and then Grain R&D's wheat. Just kind of a blend of both, very clean, pale base.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of come out white and hazy and anywhere from 3.5% to 5.5%.
Perfect.
So yeah, we're running quite a bit of those. Yeah, they're coming out draft only every 3 weeks or so.
Very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Has switching to that changed the profile of any beers, like unexpectedly?
The new Sinagua stuff.
Yeah, going with
For
the
sure,
Arizona
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, to be frank, it's slightly less efficient than the big maltsters can do. They just have a little, not quite as much fancy equipment up there and stuff. So efficiency-wise, we're having to use a little more, as well as kind of change our brewing techniques a little bit to make up for that. Which I don't think changes the flavor big time, but it does add a little, maybe rustic quality. There's a little more flavor out of their grain, and definitely a good way.
Yeah.
The Grain R&D wheat is awesome. It just smells like, biscuits, just fresh made biscuits. It's really nice wheat. For the most part, though, it's all positive changes to those kind of beers.
Yeah, I mean, they've had certain batches that, were hard to use just because the efficiency wasn't there. But I think they've come a long way to, obviously they're a very young operation.
Yeah.
I mean, they just basically opened a maltster, right? So that's incredibly progressive and challenging.
Yeah.
And I think it's only going to get better. But we're super happy with it. And
Yeah.
we hope a lot of other local breweries start using their stuff for base grain because they've been able to get price down too. So it makes financial sense to use them. So really there's no reason to not do it, right?
Mhm.
Especially local like that to be able to support. It's awesome that you guys make a point of it.
You're literally like raising cubic foot levels of water in the river, right? I mean, it's like direct impact.
Brewing in
Very
general
neat.
is not very, the most sustainable practice. So whatever we can do to kind of offset that is super important to us.
Yeah, what is it, like 4 gallons of water for 1 gallon of beer?
We
or
don't have to
something
go
like that?
into it.
Yeah.
Looks like I really
Well, I mean, we say that, but I mean, like, I got buddies from high school that they're farmers here in Arizona and they grow like alfalfa, right, for cattle feed. And they're basically growing these fields of alfalfa. And, I don't know with the trade war if that's changed anything, but they were filling shipping containers and shipping them to China for cattle feed in China, right? Because the price was so high. But I mean, that's such a high water use crop.
Yeah.
That has a much more direct impact to our water resources here than brewing does, right?
For sure.
And we're also trying to offset that, right? So we're not, hopefully these alfalfa guys can start growing like malt, or, barley.
Barley
for
way less water.
Start a beer and
Right.
blame it on the alfalfa.
Yeah, hopefully they don't listen to this. They'll probably be mad, but I mean, we don't. The days of growing, cotton and alfalfa here are
Dwindling.
hopefully.
Yeah. Slowing down.
So with a new business like that, was there
interesting.
questions of like, can they meet our needs as well as, because there's
For
several
sure.
breweries in Arizona that are using it.
Yeah, I think Wilderness uses it for all their base grain and stuff. But I think the scale of it is surprising, right? So they're like harvesting a field and it's like a ton, like a lot of grain.
Yeah.
So I think there's plenty of capacity for all local brewers to use the grain from them, and they would have plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Settled. They should be doing. Let's take a quick break.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We'll grab a beer and we'll be right back.
Cool. You know, and there's usually some hop sediment and stuff inside the tank, usually mixed with beer, just unusable beer that couldn't too much hop sediment, but it's still liquidy. So I started dumping it and kind of crack open the valve with the hose in the drain and walk away, you know, mashing in and doing my stuff.
Oh no.
And then like 10 minutes later, I noticed it's still emptying, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then it finally dawns that it's like our finished Pilsner.
Our first Pilsner that we're super proud of.
First, like,
And we were going to package it, and we're like, well, it's draft only.
yeah.
Oh, no.
I lost. Well, so we didn't lose all, but we lost like 25% of the batch. And I was like, oh shit.
Like,
Big spill pills.
Yeah, that named itself.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Well, and we're back, by the way, in case you guys are wondering.
Welcome
Cool.
back. We failed on two fronts, actually. We didn't talk about the beers, and we didn't talk about our special guest under the table.
oh,
My dog.
our bartender.
Yeah, our bartender.
I was gonna say we actually didn't even say we were drinking last.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
What you're saying? Yeah.
I think I mentioned it. I had a Burrow Buddies. It was good. It was obviously super, super good. Very
I had the unlabeled
cloudy and
super pills in a can.
Super pills. That's what I had as well. It was delicious.
Yeah, because we never vary. We always get the same thing,
and I'm having a gravel ghost right now, which is super good. I hadn't had it yet.
which I'm also having. So
It's crazy that it's
well,
5%.
You guys had the last two then? Because you just see that blue?
The keg blue.
Yeah. So those are the last
Yes,
two ones.
Sorry if you.
Oh, good.
We have more. We have more kegs.
Luke and I are sharing a 17. It's
Oh, we're
delicious.
sharing.
Oh, we're sharing. Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
News to
I'm
me.
admiring its very nice head retention here.
Yeah, that was.
Lacing.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that beer. I took it camping with me. It was good in the
Yeah.
outdoors.
Oh, hell yeah. Cool.
Seriously, you guys make beer that people. I mean, not to get off to where our subject was ever coming up, but you know, Burrow Buddies is a great beer. I mean, but it's in a long line of other great beers you guys have made like that. Those cloudy doubles and triples. I have beer in my fridge that my wife just brought me back from the East Coast. Very good stuff, but it's like I can still get it right here.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to have it, but it's so nice at Wren House and other breweries. Not a ton, but you guys are just making great beers like that. I mean, Burrow Buddies is awesome, but like I said, the 17 on draft, insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the goal. Because we still have a ton of regulars that, I talk with, and they're like, they're still big on trading, and they're big on shipping.
Yeah.
And I think the last few weeks since we've, had our anniversary beers and stuff, they're like losing that desire to buy a case of Treehouse.
I lost
or
it forever ago, man. It's been like
Wow.
a year, but I was like, I don't really need to worry about that shit anymore.
Put FedEx out of business.
Yeah. Like my wife brought me back this Finback Brewing oscillation from them.
So
It's
good.
fucking delicious. But I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is amazing. But thankfully, I've had something like this recently.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that was always a big goal of ours, is to, make beer that you don't have to travel for, that's right here in the neighborhood.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
It's
You
just
guys
as
are
high
nailing
quality as you could get, most places across the country.
for sure.
I think that's always been our goal.
it's exciting. It's exciting to see. I mean, obviously not everybody's fully onto it yet, but I mean, it's just it's awesome.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, I think we're finally getting that upper tier of breweries who are kind of pulling away from the pack. And I think as much as people hate trading, when you see that on social media, the labels, and I mean, you guys have great labels. The Spellbinder, when that pops up, like the first 10 comments are always like, oh, that label's amazing. Like that has to help. But yeah, like Nate said, more people are staying home with these beers.
Well, and I
now,
think it's great too that we're actually seeing other people from out of state want our stuff,
yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, thanks for the extras. Maybe I'll try it later.
Do you think the cans, the 16 ounce cans, and the labels and the trading actually helped a lot with you guys' maybe success in the last couple of years? I mean, we always think that it's like kind of like this hype thing that people see cans or get cans.
The
and wanna trade
cans for
them.
sure. I
Right.
mean,
and then they
I don't think necessarily trading would have driven anything, but definitely, I mean, just the ability to handle. I guess it would still be trading. Just to be able to get your guys' beer from here and take it someplace and show people the incredible label work you guys have.
I think if anything,
It speaks for it.
Our local, Arizona folk taking our beers to shares and things like that,
Yeah.
and out of state, and getting people like, oh wow, I've never heard of these guys or whatever.
yeah.
I think we've had some big jumps that helped us. I mean, recently, maybe a year and a half ago, we got in a big spread that kind of launched out all the bottle crafts across Southern California. We had Spellbinder and Big Spill and, Valley Beer, maybe a couple other one-off IPAs. And I think that having our beer at so many places throughout San
For sure.
Diego was such a big jump for us.
Well, and I think too, it's those really big kind of world-renowned bars that will hit us up and ask us for beer.
Yeah.
Which is like an incredible opportunity, right? So we send beer to Copenhagen.
Oh wow.
We learned how to say it. It's like Himmerge. Which they're great. We've sent like 3 pallets to them of various stuff, and then we just got hit up by Holy Water in San Francisco that wants to carry our stuff, and Bottle Craft, and so I think being out on those places, you're already appealing to the craft beer people that come in there,
Right.
that are expecting great stuff on this tap list, and then being on that tap list, I think puts you at that table. So
Okay.
Absolutely.
helps for sure.
Plus the worldwide recognition of collabing with somebody like Superstition Meadery kind of
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
creates more footprint for you guys, I think.
Yeah.
But is that kind of the mentality of the collabs? Because you guys did what collab for every day for your anniversary?
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
I say? How do you even
That
plan
outer
something like
range
that?
one was really, really
Like-
good. I
Like
like
that's
that.
to me is
Thanks,
the most
man.
amazing thing.
Sorry.
The
That was my
the
favorite.
logistics were insane.
Right.
Oh, I bet.
And it hurt
Yeah.
from a production standpoint because we had to do 6 beers. Like basically our entire cellar was full of all these 6 different beers with production dates, canning dates. It was a mess.
Yeah, I mean, Preston and I probably worked 7 12-hour days in a row for the production side of making those beers. It was overwhelming. But
And you create relationships with some of these breweries that you meet at events or whatever it is, and just like with people, like in regular life, you get along with some people and you don't necessarily hit it
Yeah.
off with others. And these just happen to be breweries that we hit it off with, and have mutual, I guess, interests and things like that. So I think with collabing for us, it's more, we don't think of it as, hey, let's promote our brand and collab with McKellar or Evil Twin or whoever it is. It's more like, hey, we get along with these guys really well. Let's make a cool beer together. And, that's how we look at it.
yeah.
Building those relationships.
Yeah, that
It's
was
the most
part of,
important.
I think, the craziness of that week was
Yeah.
also like showing these guys who flew out to brew with us, a good time, and
Right.
taking them to a couple of our favorite Phoenix spots, but doing that like every day, like with 5 or 6 different breweries was exhausting, but we had so much fun doing it, and
It was a killer week, too.
yeah.
I mean, I think the proof was in the results as well.
Yeah. It was, all the beers turned out great. Yeah, we had a good time.
Loved that glass.
Oh, yeah.
Liked that glass very much.
Yeah. Yeah, we always get worried we're not going to sell them.
Do you guys get worried you won't sell a glass like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's because if you don't sell it, you're sitting on them forever, and
Yeah.
you're like, what am I going to do with all this glass? But yeah, I mean, definitely anniversary glasses. We saw with our Oktoberfest mugs, those things like flew.
Yeah.
And
Those were dope. Got 2 of those.
Yeah, so
Those
those
are
are sweet. So yeah, I mean, we're very careful and calculated with everything we do. So it's like, should we order 500 glasses or just 300?
I'm sure
Like,
you're
30.
for sure we're gonna sell 30.
start with 30.
For sure. And then you go up and up and up, and you're like, 75% probability we'll sell 400. Let's not do that.
It doesn't matter if you make 10 or 1,000, somebody's going to complain that you didn't make enough.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you must have a decent following enough people like me where I'm just like, well, they did a new one. I just need to get one of them.
Yeah,
Like, I just need to grab one of them.
Yeah. I mean, we're not at the answer level where people are
I know.
collecting
Yeah, well, they're-
Mega Man and that stuff.
It's a whole other level with those
Which
guys.
I don't think we have the time or energy to
Get
get
into
into
that.
space. But
But it's as silly for me as like when you guys did the alternate version of the green cactus on that one. I was like, God, I got the other one. Definitely gonna need the
Yeah.
green version.
It's green.
Just pops.
for sure.
There you're like,
You know,
"Nah."
holds a whole 16-ounce can. Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
yeah, so what's the next color that completes that four
You know,
set?
I don't know.
Maybe blue, maybe yellow.
Yellow. That yellow on the 17 does pop. It does
You
look
know,
good.
we got these pint glasses that we couldn't sell that were like, we did like a pink Wren or like it was like a purplish pink Wren.
Yeah, that was good.
But it's like my favorite glass I own now.
Yeah.
And I use it for everything. But they sat for months and months and months. So pink.
Yeah, I have a Wren glass. I was like, the color of the Wren house, it's like purplish.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably.
I was like, that's
it's
a little
like
weird. But
Pilsner glass.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, something about humans. We love drinking like nice
Or
liquids.
visual
out of,
visual
really cool,
creatures.
Out of proper glassware.
clear
Visual creatures.
glassware.
And we like cloudy, hazy beer.
yeah.
For sure.
Gotta look
Finicky,
nice.
so finicky.
So what I was gonna say is that like so you got I mean you have done the Wally series and La Fresca series and stuff, and now it's actually the small IPA series. Is it easier or is it something as a brewer that you like want to actually just kind of like get into and see if you explore as much as possible before you move on, or is it more kind of from a business standpoint where it makes more sense to actually make a series of beers that people actually want?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a blend of both. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's-
definitely the second part. I mean, you want to make beer people want.
Yeah. And I mean, I will always defer to Luke and Preston and Sean on production. So it's like, yeah, I want to make beers that we know people want and we know people that'll sell. But at the same time, if Luke wants to make a Crisette or something, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. Like, yeah, it might sell slow, but we love making it. We love drinking it. We think people appreciate it. Like, let's make it, sort of thing.
Yeah, so speaking on that, once we get our new facility open,
Right.
for loggers, and we say it's a lager house, but at the end of the day, it's kind of offsetting all of our production, and we get to make more of everything once we get that open. So you will see some more
That's true.
small batch one-off stuff from us, stuff like Grisettes and classical styles coming out of our original brewery here. I think you'll see a lot more range once we get that.
Yeah, and I think hopefully, it'll allow us to start, harvesting yeast in different ways and, propagating it and
introducing a new
having multiple
yeast.
strains
Yeah.
and having a saison strain and all those things, right? So
It's awesome.
this will really open up because right now we've got 120-ish barrels of capacity, but we're brewing like 60 barrels of Spellbinder like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean, so it kind of handcuffs you on
Right.
how creative you can get. I mean, we do
But you
it.
got to have the space to make that beer every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're fine, devoting a lot of our brewery to that right now because we see what's coming. We see that we have a lot more room to play around in the coming months, especially with loggers.
And at the same time, I think people listening, it might sound like we're going big or something, but we're literally adding like 1,000 barrels of capacity.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're going to
I
go
guess-
from like 2,000 to 3,000, which is still
It's
probably
huge
not
for you,
even-
I'm sure.
It's
I mean-
huge for us, but it's still probably like not in the top 5 of Arizona. We're still probably like,
But for you guys to
yeah, it's the equivalent of a brewery adding like 6 new tanks to
Right.
their,
Yeah,
but
right.
it's just in a different building.
yeah.
But for you guys to be, Spellbinder came up once every 3 months before this, but, maybe,
sure, yeah,
but
yeah.
now just to be doing it all the time, and that's such a quality beer, and it's got some aspects about it that, like you said, the quality needs to be maintained on it. But just to be seeing that all over the place, all over the place. I mean, I saw it on tap.
Well, yeah. So it's super exciting because, we had this big discussion a few months ago when we switched from Renovation to Spellbinder as our core IPA. So Renovation forever was our West Coast IPA.
Great
It was
beer.
on 30-ish accounts. The accounts loved it. They sold it a lot. We were making it a lot. And we said, okay, we get that, but we want to make more Spellbinder because, we love it.
And trust me, you will too.
Yeah. So we basically, the accounts trusted us enough to say,
That's awesome.
you get these old
And
school,
smart of them.
Yeah, old school places like Luminati's, who's like, hey,
man.
okay, we'll go from a West Coast and we'll jump on board with a hazy IPA as a core beer, right? So we're getting some of these guys to just, not blindly follow us, but trust us to say, let's
and
do it.
smartly and rightly do so.
Right.
I went to Sleepy Whale's opening week, and I was just like, oh man, they got Spellbinder on tap. That's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they have their tab list that's what they do. But
Yeah,
they had you guys, and they had Spellbinder, and I was so excited about it.
Yeah, it's that local
Yeah.
quality beer is the one I always, wherever I'm traveling or anything. You
Oh,
know,
for
if
sure.
I know there's a good local
Oh man,
kind
for
of
the,
When I go to Wandering
distributed
Tourist,
hazy.
I'm almost 90% of the time ordering a Pedal House
For sure.
lager.
Yes.
Like they had their Czech
Yes.
Pilsner on, and I went there like every day for a
Yeah,
week.
unbelievable.
But that goes back
awesome.
to saying,
I
like,
love
you
that.
see all these big beers and all these big
Yeah, I'm like-
names, and you're just like,
Yeah.
you need to kind of like bring it back in. You're like, go with something safe to start.
Yeah.
While I need something to drink while I'm looking at this massive board.
For
like,
sure.
And you're like, well, I'll just go with the pills. Like, that'll save me. But I guess we could stop teasing and dancing around it, right? We are talking about a new location for Wren House. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Just to
yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
official. We kind of danced around.
are we?
it.
I didn't know. I was.
Oh, really?
We're breaking
No,
ground.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know. I mean, I figure you guys are doing. I knew you guys were doing the lagering
It's all
facility.
production.
that's
yeah.
what it is.
It's just a production facility. You know,
It's a
not
2,300 square foot box.
Okay.
About
It's not need new.
0.8 miles from here.
yeah.
No new customer area. at this
No.
point. Okay.
There's no
Yeah,
tap
so-
room.
So I can't show my crowlers.
That's still
and
super
koozies
exciting.
and-
Yeah, I mean
Good
it's 2,300-ish square feet. 3/4 of the space is going to be lager production.
That's awesome.
So or various production, but mostly lagers. It'll be
Over
those tanks that we
50%.
have in the backyard. So those 20s will move over, and then 20-ish%, 25%. We're actually walling off, and we're making it a barrel room. So it'll.
That's so
Right now we
sick.
have like 40 or 50 barrels that we have in our cold storage. So this will be a climate-controlled space for
Oh, yeah.
about 120 barrels.
Yeah.
Are you guys trying to get out of the giant walk-in business?
No, we need
we
it
just
for
need it.
kegs. We need it for
Okay,
kegs
all
and
right.
cans.
I know that thing-
Right now, we take a third of our walk-in just for barrel aging.
Yeah.
Which or the scale we're at now is starting to hurt us a little bit because
Yeah.
we're trying to always play Jenga back there with kegs and such. So I mean, yeah,
All that-
again, we're not like crazy expanding our barrel program. We're it's just a very simple.
To gain all that
organic
space for beer, though, man, that's
Right, just
got to
be
be
able
exciting
to
for you
breathe a little
guys.
bit.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's more like relieving some pressure and some stress that we have about turning tanks. So allowing loggers to go the full
Right.
3 months that we want them to go versus
Yeah.
trying to turn them to open up the tank for something else.
Right.
So we can do right by those, and then same thing goes with the barrels, right? It's one, our society bottles and stuff. If anything, we might
Those
be able to
guys.
add a few more seats to the society,
Yeah.
or make some of that barrel aged beer more available
Right.
publicly.
Right.
So we'll see.
But yeah. Speaking of loggers and Pedal House, we have our Lager Fest coming up
Oh, nice.
in November. We just posted about it.
Yeah, super exciting.
We have a big invitational going on in downtown Phoenix.
Sweet.
I've got my Holy Mountain shirt on.
Holy Mountain's coming. They're bringing beer,
Dang.
beer stot.
We've got some ringers coming in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw the list.
That's
I actually wrote
exciting.
it down. So we could look
Guys
at it.
have never been in Arizona before, I don't think.
and
That's
some
exciting.
local people too, right? Some
Oh, yeah.
Dark
Some
Sky,
of our
Pedal
favorite
House,
local
Cold
lager
Water.
brewers.
Oh, but like we were just talking about Folks Beer in Brooklyn,
Yep.
Right.
making like phenomenal lagers.
Ugh, they're
going to be
hellas.
like the
Yeah.
next. hot
If you
thing
come to
for
the
sure.
Lager Fest, go
Yeah, that's
to
exciting,
the
man.
Folks
Oh,
Beer
yeah. They
tent.
went from a 2.5 barrel system to a.
What is it? A 10?
But it's a 3 vessel.
3
10.
vessel 10.
I mean, you're going to start seeing more of them.
Okay.
They're fantastic. Folks Beer, Beer
big
Stott,
fans, big
Beer
fans.
Stott, which
makes the best
Yeah.
pilsner in the
the planet.
west of the Mississippi.
yeah, they're in Denver, right? So they're like the big lager place that everyone in the
exciting,
industry
man.
goes to. Holy
So, yeah.
Mountain. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
gonna
Mark
be-
that on our calendars.
Yeah, it's November
Great
9th,
time,
right?
sure.
November
Yeah.
9th. It's going to be downtown.
Yep.
At Galvanize.
So
Oh.
only like 300 tickets,
Very-
only like 16 breweries. We're trying to keep it really intimate and kind of a time where we
Yeah,
can all.
It's not a slosh fest. It's
Yeah. It's a let's all compare all these
Badass.
cool beers and
Very
all the
cool.
little
guys have-
delicacies that make them different.
Any idea when tickets for that go on sale?
Probably like 2 weeks.
Just for
Oh,
my own
coming up.
personal.
Yeah,
We want to
information.
like cross some T's, dot some I's, and make sure we're
Dot some lowercase j's.
lowercase
Some of
J's.
the people on that post were what Pizza Port, Modern Times, Tombstone,
Yep.
Pure Project. So definitely somebody said some big hitters for
Yeah.
sure.
It's
exciting,
I
man.
mean, even just for
That's cool
normal
to see
beer
it.
names too. So.
Alvarado Street's
Oh,
coming up.
Heater Allen, who's unreal. If you
yeah.
ever go to Portland or Oregon in general,
Yeah.
Heater Allen beer is
Really good
Insane.
lagers. Yeah.
Cerebral.
And that's so cool that it's a
Yeah,
lager
cerebral.
fest. Just to see something
Right.
different.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Does it take some extra convincing to get people when you want to keep it that small? Like it's not a big, massive. Is
yeah.
there
You know,
extra-
I think the guys we talk to are all super passionate about lagers, right? So I think initially when we had this idea like 2 years ago, it was a while ago.
Tougher, yeah.
I texted Colin from Holy Mountain, and I was like, hey, if we did a lager fest, would you be interested? And he was like, oh, 100%, I'd be there, like no doubt. So you talk to some of these guys, and they're like us, right? Where it's they do crazy good hazy IPAs, they do wild farmhouse stuff, they do all these different things, but they're like super passionate about lagers, and that's like all they drink, right?
That's killer.
So when we told them about this idea, they're all about it.
That's awesome.
We're excited.
Yeah, I imagine, like you said, their enthusiasm kind of helps fire it for you too, right? To kind
Oh,
of actually
yeah.
get motivated to do it.
Yeah, and it's hard, right? We have a very small team here. There's
Right.
there's like a dozen of us Wren House employees, right? So
Oh yeah.
it's not like we hired somebody else to run this event. It's kind of like a tag team thing between all of us. Alistair's leading the way with a lot of it, but it's a lot of work, right? So
I
we want to
bet.
make sure
Gosh.
we do it justice, and we don't do this janky event that
It's going to be a good time of the
Fry
year, though.
Fest or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Fire Fest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everybody come to this, it's like in an alley.
Beautiful Phoenix.
Yeah, welcome, and everybody's like, "Fuck this place."
Staying at Tent City.
It's FEMA tents. Oh, shit. That's
Yeah.
funny. Very cool.
November seems the proper time for that. 'cause
That's a good
it's-
time of the year.
Yeah.
There's a chance it could still be 100 degrees.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be nice.
Shut up, Ed.
It's indoors. It's indoors.
Most negative
It's
person.
indoor.
No, I'm not
Oh,
saying
good,
that as a
perfect.
bad thing. I'm saying like people coming from these other places, especially like Colorado in November, like, oh yeah, it's going to be
I
low
just thought you meant
70s.
because I thought you meant because we got such a nice winter, we were going to get really fucking shitty.
No, I'm saying
You
like
gotta cut
it'll-
this part out. They're not gonna come.
Yeah. No, I'm saying
No,
that.
it's gonna be
we,
awesome.
we can trim this up.
When people are saying like, oh yeah, here comes winter, and it's like, yeah, it's mid 70s during the day.
We've always got to cut out things, Ed says.
But it's like, yeah, that's a perfect time for loggers here. I
Oh
would
yeah.
think. Like,
No, it'll
no,
be
true.
It'll be good.
Well, there's like an amphitheater kind of thing in there. I don't know if you guys have been in Galvanize, but like back
No.
in the back side, there's like a 10, 12 row sort of like stadium seating kind
Dang.
of like thing. I really want to do like some sort of like lager talk.
Oh, okay.
And have like
Lager con, man.
It'll
Forrest.
just be Derek Osborne from Pedal House talking.
Yeah, have Derek up there and be like, okay, rapid fire questions from the audience. About
No way that wouldn't be neat.
So,
There's no way that wouldn't be
Instead of
neat.
like a TEDx, it's a Lager X.
That'd be so cool though, right? I mean,
That would be
I don't
cool,
know.
man.
A
That
doc-
sounds
a
pretty
doc
neat to
talk.
me.
Yeah.
I want to do that. But like, you have Bierstadt up there. You can ask them
Yeah.
random questions about
Historical German brewing. We got guys. Everyone we invited does lagers kind of a little differently. So very excited to talk to everyone about that.
When you guys get situated in your new facility, hopefully we can do a show from over there.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Absolutely. For
killer.
sure. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, since we actually introduced the rapid round later on, and you actually weren't able to do it the first time we interviewed you guys, do you guys would like to participate in the rapid round?
Yeah, how long has
Sure.
this show gone already?
Not that long. We're good.
Okay, all right. So we're not going for a 2 hour here, are we?
So we call it the rapid round, but it's never really the rapid. It's just round.
Hence my question.
I ask the questions rapidly, but nobody.
Oh no.
It really all happens. We ask questions.
it's all
and
yes,
then-
no answers.
Yeah, super.
Yes, no, purple. No.
But yeah, so we start with Drew, and then Luke, you want to answer second? We can go back and forth. So,
Cool.
The first question is, what is your guys' first memorable craft beer, or the beer that got you into craft beer, technically?
Jeez. I guess it's not craft, but I thought it was.
Right. What's your gateway beer?
I'll say
Same with me, man.
I'll say John Smith's. If you ever go to England or the UK, you can get John Smith's. It's like a pub ale.
Okay.
And I was like,
Yes.
wow, this is like amazing. And then I'm like, oh, it's a big ass brewery. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're owned by like probably Diageo or somebody.
Mine was Guinness. I was like 13 at a family Thanksgiving.
Allegedly it was 13.
Was it like
No,
Guinness
it was
export
definitely-
style?
Definitely
drinking
13.
underage, yeah. It was just
Torpedo can.
Guinness Draught. Did Guinness Draft
Extra G.
with the English spelling. Yeah.
Dang.
The next one is, what is your moped beer, your guilty pleasure beer?
Moped beer.
Probably. I don't think it's a guilty pleasure. Maybe High Life. No, probably like Shandies.
You say I was hoping you were going to say
Rattlers.
Natterday.
Yeah, Rattler's the same.
Rattlers.
like a lemonade,
Rattler, yeah.
like Rattler, lemonade and like Pilsner together.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you.
Dude.
Disgusted.
So good.
Disgusted, but I'm with you.
Disgusted.
The Leinenkugel one.
Yeah, dude. Oh.
Dude, so refreshing. Natterdays though. Natterdays fill that void if you like need a cheap one, but if you like bring home a fresh pack of German Pils and some Simply lemonade, and you just mix yourself.
Your moped beer's homemade Rattlers.
Homemade.
Shandies, yeah, Shandies.
Too
Yeah.
good. That's funny. That's one of our better
everyone gives me
responses.
shit for that. Everyone gives me shit.
One of our better responses for sure.
But that's true.
That's
to
a real
German
answer,
style
though. I like
is
that.
to make it yourself. Because when you order them in
Yeah,
Germany,
yeah.
it's not measured. They just kind of
Splash some lemonade in there. Yeah.
I went to one place where they had a tap handle. You poured your own lemonade, however much you wanted, and then they filled the rest with beer.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
cool.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's a historical.
Yeah, he's being traditional.
Yeah.
Drew's just shaking his head.
Exactly.
No, I don't know if mine counts as moped or not, but I would say malt liquor, like Mickey's. Like I can never like
Steel
buy it because
Reserve?
everybody judges me.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
can't have it like in my fridge, or
Yeah.
my wife will think I'm like an alcoholic or something. But I enjoy that beer, but I'm very ashamed that I enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Just like hide it in your closet.
Yeah. Like, hey, anybody want some Mickey's? They're like, haha, no.
You're like, I was just kidding. I was just joking. Put it back.
You're like,
Those
"Yeah,
little
we don't have
Mickey
any."
gonna are delicious.
Mickey's and orange juice, man.
Oh, yeah,
We
make a brass monkey.
That's too funny.
Just call them the Holy Hand Grenade. Is what Mickey's little bottles were.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, so somebody called me out on it, and I did a brown bag taste test of like all these different craft beers, and Mickey's was one of them.
Yeah.
And we poured them out, and Mickey's scored near the middle. So I'm gonna say that I am justified.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun show.
Blind taste testing malt liquor. That'd be
shoot.
awesome.
Yeah, we've done that
Pretty
before.
good.
The next one, I think it's sort of along those lines, but it's the kind of the opposite. It's what kind of beer would you decline, or what beer would you decline under any circumstance? Like if you're at a barbecue and somebody's like, "Hey, you want one of these?" and you're like, "No, I'm good.
You know,
I just drink water instead."
It's sad that I can't think of it.
I knew
Yeah,
Luke wasn't
I-
going to have an answer. I knew it. I was like, Luke's not going to have an answer for this one.
Which is
I,
fine.
He's
I
just
drink
like,
I drink
yes.
everything for sure. Like if somebody hands me something cold with alcohol in it, I'll drink it.
Will this
Like-
get me drunk eventually?
Yeah, for sure.
Eventually.
I mean,
if it was
That's the
some
keyword.
like over the top sugary extract stout,
Yeah, there used to be
Yeah,
a
and I was
beer.
just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, there used to be a beer that
I was just trying to have a good
It was
time.
like a blueberry wheat. I want to say it had like a bulldog on the cover. It was like quote unquote
yeah.
craft for a while back, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Fucking disgusting. I would decline. I would do a hard pass on that.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
I was just trying to have a good time.
Sounds like
Yeah. Someone throws some syrup on it.
Just trying to relax, dude. I'm not all about that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drink maple syrup right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
sounds
That's
like
really
you might
funny.
have trouble convincing Luke for your sour stout idea, Chris.
I love sour stouts.
Oh.
Oh, I like sour stouts.
See,
Like
these
Tart of
two-
Darkness.
I don't-
Tart
actually-
of Darkness.
Love Tart of Darkness.
That wilderness Denmark in the desert was. Ooh,
Yeah, for
so
sure.
good.
That one was really good.
Very- you
actually.
can do them right. You can do them right.
Listen, I love sour stouts. They make fun of me every time
Half
I say
the time
a
he
sour
mixes
stout.
them, they're actually
Yeah, he
pretty
makes
decent.
them-
And I mix them. Give it a sour
Oh, yeah,
stout. I
yeah.
mix them, and then they try them. They're like, "That's actually pretty good." I'm like,
But I always ever think it's just because they use two good beers. I'm like, we're at Wren. Of course it tasted good.
"Yeah, that's what it is."
Like, because we're usually sitting there and he does something stupid.
Or over there, it's the
What
same.
was that last? Anyway, yeah. Well, they had a sour on here, so.
What is one thing that should never be in a beer? Or is
Fried
there-
chicken.
Fried chicken.
Somebody did that.
Somebody
Yeah,
did that.
someone's definitely
The
done
brewer
that.
we just collaborated with.
I know.
Evil twin.
I know.
Evil twin.
Well, I think Yeppe would agree.
Yeah, yeah.
He'd
Oh,
probably be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I hate it.
Yes.
But yeah, that was
Any kind of meat, probably.
You know, I don't
you
think
could
meat.
like
Yeah,
meat
that
in general.
Yeah,
meat
it's
doesn't have any place in
gross.
beer. That's a good answer.
There was a while when Bill, my partner, was he was like super into paleo stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, we got to do a bone beer. And
A
I'm like,
bone beer.
no.
I would do a bone beer.
Really?
A bone beer.
It's kind of scary.
It'd be like,
To me, it's almost like, I don't know. I'm probably gonna get
It's-
shit for this. It's kind of like, well, maybe it's not offensive to animals. I don't know. It's
this
just kinda
More
like-
so than eating them.
I don't know. That's what I. That's
How were these bones procured?
Yeah.
Like, how did you get these bones?
This bone is
Technically-
definitely not vegan.
This bone was found in the plains.
Did this
of
did the,
northern
I just
Yeah,
said
I mean,
dog. I was
yeah,
about to
maybe
say dog.
find some antlers or something out in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Well,
it
I just
die
think
of
also-
old
yeah,
age?
yeah.
well, there was that Colorado brewery that did it with climbing chalk.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they did like a climbing collab, or the owner's like a big rock climber, so they put climbing
water.
chalk in there.
Oh, weird.
And
But
then
like
mash
from
and
the
then-
used bag.
Oh, we saw one recently on Instagram that somebody used Pillsbury baking flour.
Oh, yeah.
Or cake flour.
Yeah, cake flour.
It was on. I think it was on a Worst Beer blog, and then they like you swipe the picture and it's the ingredient list, and there were like literally 30 or 40 ingredients
In this,
in
like,
this cake flour,
bleach flour.
and it was all like
Oh, man.
chemicals and stuff, and they're like dumping it in. So
Yikes.
yeah, maybe that's not a
Yeah,
good.
cake mix.
Yeah.
But I
cake
think
mix.
I think a bone beer would be almost a prerequisite here.
Prerequisite?
Requisite, yeah. There's
Jesus
W in there
Christ.
somewhere.
Yikes.
With all your dinosaur toys.
Well, yeah, we're
see if
doing
you can get
find some dinosaur.
yeah,
bones.
get your hands on some dinosaur bones.
I just think it'd be super metal to do.
They have like a petrified dinosaur poop. You can get that anywhere.
Yeah. Or get some shark teeth.
I don't think that's true.
The Gap does not have it.
Not true.
The Gap doesn't have.
I
dinosaur
went
poop.
to the Boston Museum when I was a kid. They had petrified. No, I'm just kidding.
Yikes.
Yep.
Well, we got that oyster shell beer coming. So.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
We got
Actually,
some
Oyster
oyster
bones,
lager.
that's a good point. Tell us a little bit about
Excess
that.
Maybe.
I remember
carbonate.
I was following. You guys were doing it with Nelson's, right?
Right.
Yep.
I was following Nelson on Instagram just before they were getting ready to do it. They're like, "Come down and help us get rid of some more oysters. 'cause
Yeah, yeah.
we need them for the brew."
For sure.
So
Yeah,
how'd
yeah.
that
Super
go?
exciting.
We kind of did like a dark brownish kind of low alcohol lager. The grain bill's very similar to Japanese rice lager, but then we added some dark malt to just darken it up a little bit, kind of play with the savoriness of oysters. And we just kind of added, a very small amount in the boil, and it's been lagering now for a few weeks. So we're getting ready to package that. It's tasting really nice. Really
We're gonna
savory.
have an oyster festival.
Yep.
It's gonna come out right around National Oyster Day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's hitting a lot of
Checking all the boxes.
Checking all the boxes. All right. So the last question is: describe Arizona's beer scene in 3 words. Or
Is that a new question?
we'll say 3 to 5.
Wow.
Is that a new question?
It's kind of like
No. There's
I don't know
Dark
about
Sky.
that one.
Nick from Dark Sky kind of set the precedent, so you
What-
have
what
to
was
do it
his
in
answer?
3 years.
Yeah, what was
Like-
his answer?
I forget.
a
But he
really
did it
good
quick. Like he already answered it by now. So
It was
you're already
insane how
behind the
fast he
ball.
was.
I don't think I could do it in 3.
3 to 5. We'll say 3 to 5. How's that?
What is going on?
It's young and fresh and
fresh.
Say hip. Say hip.
hip.
Thanks, Luke. Thank you.
Yeah,
Opening quote for the show. It's young. It's fresh. It's hip. It's
I would
hip.
say
It's a Hoppy Craftsmen's podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
the quality is improving. That's 4 words. Quality is improving. 3 words. There you go.
3 to 5. That's fine.
Seriously, no, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a theme I've seen over the last.
We got some good breweries.
5-6 years.
The founder and head brewer from Society is coming to Prescott. They're opening in a few weeks.
It's gonna be super good.
It's going to be some of the best beer in Arizona, I think. Very excited for it. It'll be very
Wow.
clean stuff. So I think stuff like that is really improving our young, fresh market.
Hip.
And
Young,
hip.
fresh, hip.
Good answers. Good answers.
That might have been the most rapid round we've ever had.
That was
Yeah.
pretty rapid.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, it was all you, Chris. Congratulations.
Oh, I thought it was because of the questions I asked quickly.
no.
So, what do you guys have coming in the kind of near future? I'm guessing Rewad and Woody, you guys are going to be there. You said the Lager Fest. What else? Anything else you guys? need to do?
Anything in the
We're
tanks?
going to Darkness Day.
Yeah, we're going to Surly Darkness Day.
Very cool.
Yeah, we
Dang.
got that coming up.
That's a cool name for an event.
Yeah, Darkness.
The Darkness
Metal.
Maybe some
Sweet.
bone beer.
We're gonna brew bone beer.
We're gonna use some carcasses to make a stout.
Sick. We got Modern Times Dankness coming up. Hopefully we'll kind of run around town and brew a couple beers with some breweries up there.
Sweet.
JBF.
GBF submitting beers again. So hopefully we get some metal.
Some metal.
Which I guess we should probably mention earlier too. The big spill, right? You guys got the Bend
Yeah.
gold medal. For that, right?
Yeah. What?
Craft beer award.
Craft Beer Awards.
Yep.
Craft Beer Awards.
Very
Gold
cool.
medal.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's awesome. We were super pumped for it.
We were all very,
Very
excited
excited.
for that.
That's when I entered secretly just to,
Oh,
skunk works to
Yeah,
win a medal in something just to
Yeah.
break the curse. We
Yeah.
think we're cursed.
No.
we got something. Got something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
look nice.
Yeah.
And then we got our Lagerfest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lagerfest.
We'll probably have our Halloween party here at Wren House, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Always the event of the year. Our Halloween party, if you haven't been.
We got our employee party coming up,
Employee party.
which no one listening is
Yeah.
obviously invited to. But
Can't wait for that.
we all don't drink quite that much, and no, we drink a
Where you
lot.
going?
Everybody goes home at a reasonable hour.
What's the spit?
and-
What's the spit?
What is this bit you're doing? When do you guys expect to be into your new lager facility?
I'm thinking realistically October.
All right.
We're shooting for September, but we're getting all of our stuff into engineering right now, all of
Yeah.
our plans. So the plans are done. We just need the engineering stuff.
Yeah, if we can get there that quick, then we should be in the full swing of things by early fall
Very cool. Very cool.
in terms of production and stuff.
Well, we'll be in touch because we need to do a show as soon as you guys get situated and doing
Yeah.
stuff over there. It'd be
Yeah,
awesome to see it. Check it out.
It is amazing though, hearing all that and having 15 employees to manage
for
all
sure.
that. And
I mean,
Like 12, I think. Literally 12.
I mean, we have amazing employees.
Yeah.
I hear it every day.
We're a big fan.
Yeah, you have good people.
We're a big fan of our people. So yeah, I feel blessed.
Alistair's helped me out several times
Blessed
personally.
AF.
Love that guy.
Blessed AF. Yeah, really, really great.
Well, awesome.
Cool guys. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks for having us. Thanks for dealing with us, and thanks for just doing what you guys do because it does mean a lot to us.
Cool.
Seriously.
Yeah, thank you.
if people want to find more information about the events you guys talked about or find information about you guys, where should they go?
just contact Drew on Facebook because he's always on there.
right.
Just
Or at Yelp
Yeah.
and message him on
Yeah,
Yelp.
just send Drew a
Please
Yelp
don't do
review.
that.
Please don't do that.
Yeah. Instagram.
Yeah,
Be good.
Instagram's where it's at.
Yeah, if you direct
It's a good app.
message,
It's a good
I
app.
will probably respond.
Yep.
And Luke's gonna take over while I'm in Canada next week.
Oh shoot. Okay. Message next
No.
week.
Yeah.
I got some stuff to talk about.
Oh,
I won't have service, so I can't.
Oh, even better.
Oh shoot, that's
Even
funny.
better. All right, guys. Nate, where can people find us on social
You
media?
can find us at Hoppy Craftsmen and at hoppycraftsman.beer on the interwebs.
Sweet. And Ed, who are the reddest fucking people in the world?
Besides the people in this room, that would be our Patreon supporters. That's Zach Dominguez, Jessica Langley, Paul. I'm gonna say Funicello. That's a very
close.
dated reference.
Wow.
The Indie Beer Show, Cena
That
Gomez.
fucking guy is not going to be
Cena
a
Gomez.
Patreon supporter for much longer.
I know. Rob Fulmer of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild, and Mark Ballesteros, and Anthony Bracmonte.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
You guys
Good
are rolling
people.
in it.
Yeah.
It is. All
So
this fancy equipment.
Yeah.
Well, it takes money to actually make a podcast. It's really weird. So if people want to become our supporters as well, they can go to patreon.com/hoppycraftsmen. We have the links onto our website that Nate mentioned earlier, and we actually have a store. You can buy some of our swag too. So
For sure.
hit us up.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
All right.
See you.
Later, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Goodbye.